Hey guys, welcome to this video. Thanks so much for tuning in, sharing this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome. Welcome back if you have. My intention is unity and oneness and the highest levels of love light. The purpose of this video today is to go into a little bit of flow, and then I will probably follow it up with an energy update. I might do a two-part video. So let's start with the flow and kind of see where it goes. And then I will share some energy updates on essentially what I've been receiving in the form of meditation and downloads, and just a little bit about my own personal experiences. So we'll start with the flow. And as I drop in and as we share in this now moment, as we tune in together to the energy and frequency that is being expressed in this channel, in this way, through this channel that you are looking at on the display, through the internet, through the varied or variety of channels that you have the choice to tune into, we invite you to drop in and feel into all channels that you are tuning into. For there is a variance that is happening in the fields, and this fluctuation is palpable. It can be felt, and we all have the capability to access the ability to fine-tune our reality. Or let us play with the words for a bit. Let us find the tune of the reality that we are choosing to tune into. Let us feel into that tune and adapt accordingly, or adapt the tune according to what it is that we are looking for. This is a play on words, like what are we looking to feel? Ooh, I could go into so many different so many more layers. I'm being guided to stop and just share, to tune into whatever it is you're feeling. It's really important right now because we're getting information from sources, whatever those sources are, whatever information we are tuning into. Some people are really tuning into one story. Others are really tuning into another story. Maybe it's somebody in our life that we're tuning into. Maybe it's someone that we are friends with that we're helping, that we're tuning into. Maybe it's our clients that we're tuning into. Maybe it's a program that we're tuning into at school. I mean, I could go on and on. There's no one thing that the guides are talking about here. A lot of what I share can be used interchangeably, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But essentially, we're really being asked to drop in and feel. Notice what it is that we are feeling as we tune into something that's coming through the channel that we are tuning into. And this will lead me into another video on kind of an energy update. But for many of us are looking for support. We're looking for something else to communicate with us, to give us that support, to tell us what we feel we need to be told in order to live our lives, in order to feel out how we should live our lives, or better spoken, in order to feel how it is that we should be feeling, in order to feel what it is that we want to be feeling. We are being invited to recognize what we are feeling now. For in order to get there, wherever that is in the future, we must tune into it now. For now is how we tune our instrument to play the song or the sound that we are looking to play. For we are part of a symphony, one might say, and there are many other instruments that are being orchestrated, that are being played out by multiple subsets of reality, multiple players within the orchestra, and there are many people who are trying to direct this orchestra, if you will. And we are being invited to be our own maestro, to recognize the rhythm and the tune within the section that our instrument is tuned into. for some of us, are not meant to necessarily play the same instrument in the same tune, in the same way that all other players in the orchestra play. And part of this is because we have our own part to play, our own role to play out. And while certain people are choosing to replay certain roles over and over again in their own way, or they are feeling the need to play out these roles by getting in their own way, and we could play with these words in many different ways, that is their choice to carry on that orchestration. We are more able to vibrate at our own orchestrability. So I'm playing with these words. It's like the ability to orchestrate, the ability to feel what it is that we're playing, the availability to us for the frequency, for us to play into the frequency that we want to play with. And this is all a play on words too. So I'm hearing a lot of questions coming in and a lot of like background noise, and I will get to that in a different video perhaps, or maybe the end of this. And so many of us are experiencing what we will lovingly refer to as an overlap. We are overlapping with other humans who are part of another collective, yet we are deeply intertwined within the same humanitarian collective, planetary collective, yet the dimensions in which we are each accessing, or the orchestra and symphony that each of us are playing to, playing with, playing through as our own, I'm hearing maestro, instrument, player, the song that we're choosing, I don't play music, but what is it, the tone that we're trying to play in? I'm going to tune my instrument to 440. I'm going to tune my instrument to 432. So this is what I'm being shown as the big difference. It's subtle, but it's enough that we can feel when something is out of resonance or out of harmony with our own harmonic. And so these different energies, frequencies, realities are cascading together, one might say. It is creating a very challenging time, and that's a play on words. I'm being shown, what's that time, the metrodome? Is that what it's called when you, I've looked it up so many times and I keep forgetting. This, some people are keeping up this with this rhythm, others are keeping up with this rhythm, but they're all being played at the same time because that is where we're at right now in time. And so we have this sequestering, if you will, and this is a play on words. I'm being called to look that up. So let's play. Okay, I'm going to keep going because I don't quite understand that. So let's play with this. Many of us are being called to create a sequestering energy, and we will play with this for a moment because it is not just the word etymology that we are referring to, because part of the way in which we communicate through this collective orchestration of the Carrie Collective holds a frequency and a symphonic resonance that is then played out in the type of speech or pathology or path in which the information comes through. So let us play with this for a moment and give a perspective on this particular way of communication. For this particular way of communication can be challenging for some to tap into and very easy for others to assimilate within their own brain schematic, one might say, or creative way of communication and back and forth understanding. For language is an asset. And many of the assets that we once considered valuable are taking a change. They're taking a change in form. There is a change in information, and the way in which we are receiving information is extremely valuable. We are playing with this entire paragraph in a lineup to break it down, build it up, and reorder it as a mechanism to support the human collective of information that is available to us. For we are quantum computers from one perspective, and we are able to outpace the quantum directive that is being implemented in the artificial landscape. And this is difficult to convey in this particular message in this particular way, but we are merging together with many different symphonies. And this includes artificiality, artificial reality, as well as the truth in reality that is being played out all at the same time. So we offer an abundance of codes, and usually whatever the individual is focusing on as they listen to this message will pop up in that person's brain or in that particular person's imagination that will then assist them potentially coming to a particular frequency observance or an observational awareness, one might say, of that particular subset of the communication or node that we are tapping into through this type of quantum communication. So let us refer back to the language technology, and we will play with the word sequester. I just got pulled into like 5 different directions here. Whew. If we break this word down and we play with it in a quantum way, sequester means we are going on a quest. There are many questions. There is a sequencing going on of the quest that we are exploring. And as we answer these questions and as we explore this and we open the door for more, as we open the door for exploration, we often feel as if we are being sequestered into a particular propagation, a particular channel, a particular way of communication, or we are being pulled into listening to things, stories, and connections to those stories that pull us in and put us in certain categories. They put us or place us in certain pockets, if you will. So sequestering. Ooh, this is all a big play on words. Whew. And so we are using this as an example to play with language. For many people are concerned about how the artificial reality is going to affect us. We can effectively dissimulate, if you will, or dissolve or assimilate, reassimilate. I'm seeing break down and rebuild, but also reassimilate. It's like we're dissolving and assimilating at the same time. We're dissolving an old form of reality and creating a new form all at the same time. And this is something that's difficult to convey, something that's difficult to explain, but it is again, it's very quantum. So we invite you not to get sequestered into a particular part of a symphony, playing a particular instrument that isn't something that you came here to play, from one perspective. But from another perspective, we are also inviting all to stand back and hear and feel into the channel, the symphony, the resonance of what it is that is happening around us. For this orchestration of events is playing to a particular form of information pathology, a pathological band of re-information being inserted back into our reality. However, each and every one of us has a unique landscape and version of our reality. We play our instrument accordingly. So I'm being shown all of us are walking around sending out a signal. So one person's carrying a flute, another person's carrying a guitar. One person is carrying an electric guitar. One person is carrying a banjo. Everybody has a different instrument, and they each are part of the sound and the resonance that humanity makes as an orchestra. However, it isn't a symphony if it is playing in two chords. Oh, it is. Okay, I'm being shown several things. So what I'm being shown is it may not sound like it holds a certain resonance because it's out of alignment with our resonance, but to other people, it sounds right. And they're playing to that particular sound. So, so many things, getting goosebumps. All right. We play with this so that you, as a listener, as a feeler, as an intuitive being, by all natural rights, can feel into the rightness, the right angle. This doesn't have to do with being right or wrong. It's a play on words of what it is that we are lining up with. For we must use our sense in order to feel into the sense of where we are going. And we are either following the piper, if you will. I'm being shown like what a line of people just playing the same instrument, following the same rhythm, and it's out of key, but they don't know that it's out of key because they are so habitually programmed to play that same song. And they're using the orchestra, symphony, instrument, sound, resonance. It's all a harmonic that is a vibratory frequency that each human has. And from a quantum field, we are all playing a chord. We're all part of a bandwidth. We are all part of the band. We're playing with each other in this collective as a collective, AKA symphony. And the way in which we are, what I'm hearing is being led, is based on the rhythm that the maestro, so I'm just seeing a picture of a lot of people sitting waiting to play their music, and the maestro is all over the place. The maestro's got one hand telling us to go this way and the other hand telling us to go this way, and it's creating chaos and disorder. But what I'm being shown is on an individual basis, we're still the ones that are holding the instrument. We are still the ones that are choosing what it is that we want to play in. And like, do we want to be part of that symphony? All right. I am being called to finish this and then maybe do an energy update in regards to this message a little deeper in just a minute. So let us go back to the word play here. Okay. So sequester. I already talked about the quest, sequencing, questions, and this has to do with what are we questioning? The sequence of events, maybe that are playing out worldwide, and the quest that we are going on. It's like a vision quest. So this is a play on words, and I'm hearing our vision quest needs to be our own vision quest and not to tune into the quest that we're being asked to go on, because we're giving permission to follow that piper. Ooh, that takes me into so many different. So here we go. So we're being sequestered. To remove something, to set aside, to quarantine, isolate, excommunicate. I'm on, by the way, Edom Online. Although it also means intermediate, to follow. Boy, that's funny. It's kind of to remove something, but to follow. Intermediate, which doesn't seem like, so we're being mediators. So we're doing all of these things, you guys. I'm just laughing because if you really look at the etymology of words, it's just fascinating. And so I'm being shown that all of this is going on. It's all happening right now at the same time. So one person thinks of sequester as meaning one thing, another person, it's all correct from another perspective. It's all about perspective. All right, so we'll have to come back to that. I'll probably have to write that up. And so I'm being guided to talk about my dream. So I had a dream the other night that the Grand Canyon was humanity. And we were on one side there was one half on one side and another half on the other side. And in the middle was this gaping gorge. And it was alive. Like it was a wound, this crack down the Grand Canyon. And it was literally a living, breathing, disgusting canyon. And it was just like waiting. It wasn't waiting. It was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, the reason I'm being shown to bring that up is I had the sensation as I was looking at that, I was flying over it in my vision. And I was just watching this wound being reignited. And if we think of it, the Grand Canyon is huge. It's ancient, right? It also has many secrets that are held within it that we don't know about. And it was a metaphor for me also to recognize that we don't know a lot about our true history. And we also don't know as much as we think we know based on what we're being told. So it all comes back to us right now, being able to somehow stand in harmony from the inside out and recognize that you're either going to be walking and playing this instrument all by yourself, or you can be part of an orchestra and symphony. But if two groups are trying to play over each other, it doesn't sound very symphonic. And that's harmonious. And that's essentially what's happening. And it creates chaos, distortion, and feelings of frustration and sadness, of course. But just to remember that this is a quantum entanglement. What we do now and the instrument that we pick up to play with is sending out a wave into the field that is literally more impactful, has more impact, has a longer range than we might realize. So be aware of what it is that we are choosing to be in resonance with, recognizing that we may not fully understand the whole story, and recognizing that underneath all of that, all of us are human beings. All of us are on planet Earth, making individual choices that affect all of us. And there comes a point when we choose the sound that we want to create. And we recognize that this song that we are singing together impacts everything around us. And the more we can listen and observe and learn from each other and appreciate the individuality. I'm being shown some people are playing jazz, some people are playing, but it's nice to stop and feel the music. And I'm bringing it back into the beginning of this message. And essentially what my guidance team is showing is that if it doesn't feel right and it doesn't feel good in our hearts, then why are we playing with it? There comes a point that I'm hearing like what's that movie, The Hunger Games? That's a game in that movie that was perpetuated because people wanted it. Not everybody wanted it, right? And I'm being shown the power of sound, resonance. So I'm being called to invite and encourage everybody to look up cymatics, CYMATICS. I'm being encouraged to remind everybody to look up heart math, maybe check out Dan Winter, his work a little bit about the power of the heart, the power of literally song and dance. All of this is part of our ability to transmute the negative energy, or let us just say the discordant energy, the disharmonious energy, because some people aren't realizing that the sound that they are creating or co-creating with others has a discordant harmony that is impacting their reality in such a way that it's perpetuating the same frequency that they're looking to overcome or get away from. We can't run away from ourselves. And so I'm being shown people trying to run away from the noise and run away from the sound, but they're creating that noise because the way in which they're doing it, the way in which they're responding, the way in which they're interacting to everything that's happening in the world, in their lives, so on and so forth. So I hope someone found that helpful. I'm going to do part 2 in love and light. Namaste.